Scrolling past terracotta sofas on Pinterest, but scared it'll look dated in 5 years? This video's for you. Terracotta is quietly one of the most requested sofa colors right now. And it's not hard to see why. It's warm, it's grounding, and it only gets better with age. Think old Mediterranean villages, sun-baked clay pottery, spaces that have felt timeless for centuries. That's terracotta. It doesn't burn out like a typical trend color. But here's what nobody tells you. The sofa is only half the story. Two people can buy the exact same terracotta sofa. One ends up with a magazine-worthy room. The other ends up with a random orange couch that just doesn't fit. The difference? Everything around it. So that's what we're fixing today. 12 designer-approved ways to style a terracotta sofa. The colors that make it sing. The small details that make a room feel designed. Budget-friendly swaps. And the mistakes that quietly ruin the whole look. Let's get into it. Terracotta and warm neutrals. Desert living room. Let's start with the easiest, lowest risk combination. Warm neutrals. Think sand, ivory, warm white, and camel. The reason this pairing works so well is that terracotta is fundamentally a warm, earthy clay tone, and surrounding it with other warm neutrals keeps the whole room in the same temperature family. Nothing fights, nothing clashes, and the sofa gets to stay the visual anchor everyone's eye lands on first. Here's a small thing most people miss when they try this look themselves. If every neutral surface has the same smooth texture, the room can end up looking flat, almost like a furniture showroom instead of a lived-in home. A designer's trick here is to layer at least 3 different textures within that neutral palette: a linen throw, a boucle accent chair, a jute rug, so your eye has something to travel across even though the colors themselves are quiet. And if you're working with a tighter budget, you really don't need to buy a new rug to get that sandy, sun-bleached look. A plain canvas drop cloth, dyed lightly with tea or a natural dye, gives you almost the exact same warm, weathered texture for a fraction of the price of a designer jute rug. The one mistake that trips people up constantly with this combination is reaching for cool grays instead of true warm neutrals. It seems like a small difference, but cool gray has a blue undertone, and when you put it next to terracotta's orange undertone, the two visually fight each other. The terracotta ends up looking muddy instead of warm and rich. Stick to sand, ivory, warm white, and camel, and you're safe. Terracotta and deep green, botanical contrast. Next up is one of my personal favorites, deep forest green. If you've ever noticed how good clay pots look surrounded by leafy plants, that's basically this pairing in furniture form. Terracotta and deep green sit almost opposite each other on the color wheel, which technically makes them complementary colors, but because both of them are muted, earthy tones rather than bright, saturated ones, the contrast feels rich and calm instead of loud. A detail that makes a real difference here is scale. Instead of scattering a bunch of small green accessories around, a candle here, a picture frame there, use green in a few larger elements, like one substantial accent chair and a couple of large leafy plants. That scale is what makes the color story read as intentional rather than accidental. If plants aren't in your budget or you don't trust yourself to keep them alive, one large fiddle leaf fig, even a realistic faux one, genuinely does more visual work in a room than 5 small plants scattered around, and it usually costs less in total too. Now, the mistake to watch for. Don't reach for bright emerald or Kelly green thinking more saturation equals more impact. Those brighter greens are too intense next to terracotta. Instead of complementing it, they compete with it for attention. Stay in the muted, earthy end of the green family. Forest green, olive, sage, and moss all work beautifully. Terracotta and black accents, modern edge. If your instinct is that terracotta feels a little too rustic or too southwestern for your taste, black accents are the fix. Black is a grounding, heavy color, and adding it into a room with a warm, soft color like terracotta gives the whole space more visual weight. Suddenly it reads as modern and editorial instead of purely cozy and rustic. Here's the detail that separates a well-styled room from an overdone one. Keep black to hard materials only. A matte black metal lamp base, a black picture frame, a black coffee table, those work. Black soft textiles, on the other hand, like a black rug or black throw blanket, tend to make the whole room feel heavier and colder than you want, and they cancel out the warmth terracotta is supposed to bring in the first place. On a budget, you genuinely don't need to buy new black pieces. Take an old lamp base or a picture frame you already own and give it a coat of matte black spray paint. It's a $10 fix that instantly adds that designer-level contrast. The mistake people make most often here is going too far with black on soft surfaces, exactly what I just mentioned. A black rug, black curtains, black throw pillows all at once. Keep black to the hard, structural pieces, matte black metal, charcoal accents, and a touch of brass to warm it back up. Softer, more romantic take. Try pairing your terracotta sofa with dusty pink or blush. This one surprises people because pink and orange tone terracotta sound like they shouldn't go together, but the reason it works is undertones. Blush pink and terracotta actually share the same warm base, so instead of clashing, they blend into something that feels like a soft, monochromatic palette with just enough depth to stay interesting. A tip worth remembering: bring blush in through throw pillows and a rug rather than the walls. A full wall of pink next to a terracotta sofa can tip the whole room into overly sweet territory very quickly, whereas smaller doses keep it soft without overwhelming the space. If you want to test this look before committing, 2 new throw pillow covers, not even full pillows, just the covers, can update your whole color story for well under $25, and you can always swap them out later if you change your mind. The mistake to avoid is reaching for the wrong kind of pink. There's a cooler, bluish pink, sometimes called millennial pink, that's very popular in home decor right now, but it has the opposite undertone from terracotta's orange base, so the two will clash rather than blend. Stick to dusty rose, blush, warm mauve, and cream, all of which share terracotta's warmth. Terracotta and navy blue. Bold and rich. If you want something with a bit more drama, navy blue is the combination you'll see in a lot of higher-end designer spaces. Navy is a deep, cool color, and pairing it with a warm color like terracotta creates contrast in temperature. One warm, one cool, which makes both colors look richer and more intentional than they would on their own. The detail that makes this pairing feel designed rather than random is committing to navy in one large element instead of spreading it thin. An accent wall, or one statement rug in a deep navy, reads as a deliberate design decision. Scattering small navy accessories evenly around a room, on the other hand, tends to look more like clutter than a cohesive color story, which is actually the biggest mistake people make with this combination. If painting a wall feels like too much commitment, especially if you're renting, peel and stick navy wallpaper on a single accent wall gives you the same visual impact with zero drying time and no risk to your security deposit. Once you've got your one big navy moment in place, round it out with brass hardware or a brass floor lamp and a cream rug to keep the whole thing from feeling too heavy or too cold. Terracotta and warm wood tones. Cozy cabin feel. This next one is probably the safest, most livable pairing on this entire list. Warm wood tones. Oak, walnut, honey-toned wood. All of it sits in the same warm color family as terracotta, so the room feels naturally cohesive rather than deliberately styled. If you're new to working with terracotta at all, this is the pairing to start with. A small trick that adds depth here is mixing your wood tones slightly instead of matching every piece exactly. A coffee table just a shade darker than your oak floors, for example, adds dimension to the room instead of letting everything blur into one flat wood-colored blob. You don't need brand new furniture to get this look either. A second-hand wood side table for as little as $15, given a fresh coat of natural oil finish, can look genuinely high-end sitting next to a terracotta sofa. The mistake to watch for is pairing terracotta with the wrong kind of wood floor, specifically the cool, gray-toned grayish floors that have been popular in newer builds. Those floors have a cool undertone, and next to terracotta's warm orange base, the mismatch makes both the floor and the sofa look slightly off, almost like they don't belong in the same room. Terracotta and mustard yellow, warm and retro. For something with a bit more personality, mustard yellow next to terracotta gives you a warm, slightly retro combination that's having a real moment right now. Both colors sit in the same warm, saturated family, so they build on each other rather than competing, and together they create a room that feels energetic without being chaotic. The key here is balance. Mustard is a strong color, so it works best as an accent rather than a dominant one. One mustard accent chair, or a set of mustard throw pillows, is usually enough to make the pairing read clearly without tipping the room into looking like a 1970s rec room. If you want to try this on a budget, a couple of mustard-toned pillow covers or a small mustard vase are enough to test the combination before you commit to anything bigger, like an accent chair. The mistake worth avoiding is using mustard in large, flat areas like an entire wall or a huge rug, because it's such a saturated color that much of it can quickly feel overwhelming. Keep it to smaller doses. Pillows, a vase, a single chair, maybe some artwork. Terracotta and soft gray-green sage, calming balance. If deep forest green feels like too much contrast, sage is the softer, quieter version of the same idea. Sage has a slight gray undertone mixed into the green, which makes it more muted and calming than a true forest green, and next to terracotta it creates a much gentler, almost Mediterranean feel. A good way to bring sage in is through larger upholstered pieces, an accent chair, or curtains, rather than tiny accessories, since the color is subtle enough that small doses can get lost against a bold terracotta sofa. On a budget, a set of sage-colored curtain panels is one of the most affordable ways to bring a large amount of that color into the room without committing to new furniture. The mistake to avoid here is pairing sage with anything too bright or busy elsewhere in the room. Sage is a quiet color, and if it's competing with a loud pattern or another bold color, it tends to just disappear instead of doing its job of balancing the terracotta. Terracotta and cream and white, airy minimalist. If you want your terracotta sofa to feel light and airy rather than heavy and rustic, surround it with a lot of cream and white. This is essentially the opposite approach from the bold navy or black pairings. Instead of adding contrast, you're letting the terracotta be the only strong color in an otherwise quiet, minimalist room, which makes it stand out even more. The detail that keeps this from looking sterile is texture. Again, a chunky knit throw, a woven basket, some raw wood, small organic textures keep an all-cream room feeling warm instead of clinical. Budget-wise, this is actually one of the cheapest looks to pull off because cream and white basics, pillow covers, a throw blanket tend to be some of the most widely available and least expensive items at almost any home store. The mistake to watch for is using cool-toned white instead of warm white or cream. A stark, blue-based white next to terracotta can feel almost clinical and cold, whereas a warm white or ivory keeps the whole room feeling soft and cohesive. Terracotta and deep burgundy, rich and moody. For a moodier, more romantic room, deep burgundy is a striking pairing with terracotta. Both colors come from a similar warm, earthy family, but burgundy is much darker and richer, so together they create a layered, almost autumnal palette that feels cozy rather than cold, even though it's a deeper color scheme overall. A tip here: use burgundy and velvet if you can, since the fabric's sheen catches light differently and adds a subtle richness that a flat cotton in the same color wouldn't give you. If velvet furniture is out of budget, a single burgundy velvet throw pillow gets you most of that same rich, textured look for a small fraction of the price of a full chair or sofa. The mistake to avoid is using too much burgundy relative to your lighter neutrals. Because it's such a deep color, a room with too much of it can start to feel dark and closed in rather than cozy. Balance it out with cream or warm wood so the room still feels open. Terracotta and terrazzo and stone textures, modern Mediterranean. This pairing isn't about color so much as material. Bringing in terrazzo or natural stone textures alongside your terracotta sofa gives the room a modern Mediterranean feel that's been showing up a lot in newer interior design. The flecked, mixed tones in terrazzo actually pick up on the warm undertones in terracotta, tying the two together even though they're technically different materials rather than colors. A simple way to bring this in without a full renovation is through a terrazzo topside table or a stone coffee table, both of which are widely available now at a range of price points. If a full stone or terrazzo piece is out of reach budget-wise, even a terrazzo patterned vase or a set of coasters brings in that same textural note in a much smaller, cheaper way. The mistake to avoid is overdoing it. Terrazzo is a busy, patterned material, so one or two pieces is usually enough. Too much of it competing with the solid terracotta sofa can make the room feel visually noisy instead of intentional. Terracotta and multiple warm tones. Maximalist Sunset Palette. For the last look, we're going bigger. A full maximalist palette that mixes several warm tones at once. Terracotta, mustard, rust, and a touch of burgundy, almost like the colors of a sunset, all living in one room. This is the boldest option on the list, and it works because every one of those colors shares the same warm undertone, so even with several colors in play, nothing clashes. The detail that keeps a palette like this from feeling chaotic is treating it like a gradient rather than a random mix, layering the colors from lightest to darkest across the room, so your eye reads it as an intentional flow rather than a jumble. Budget-wise, this look is actually very forgiving because you can build it slowly, piece by piece. Over time, a pillow here, a throw there, rather than needing to buy everything at once. The one real mistake to avoid with a maximalist palette like this is adding a cool color into the mix, even just one. A single cool-toned piece, a blue vase, a gray pillow, will visually interrupt the whole warm gradient and make the rest of the room look less cohesive by comparison. Keep every color in the room within that same warm family, and the boldness will still feel put together instead of random. So there you have it, 12 different ways to style a terracotta sofa, from the safest, easiest neutrals all the way to a full maximalist sunset palette. If there's one thing to take away from all of this, it's that terracotta is far more flexible than it gets credit for. It plays well with cool colors, warm colors, bold moments, and quiet ones, as long as you're paying attention to undertones. Which of these combinations matches your own space best? Let me know in the comments. And if this helped you picture your living room a little differently, subscribe for more color pairing breakdowns like this one every week.